able to.
Hello, 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 everybody. This is not a live show. This is actually recorded. So I apologize for the banner that's at the bottom. But nonetheless, we are going to upload it on June the 12th. I am Keisha. I am just one half of the host of the Regal Mindset podcast show. Jay, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Dr. Joy, the coach, and I'm the other half of the Regal Mindset Show. And let's talk about this money today.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So tonight we're talking about secure the bag, protect your peace, right? This falls under
Mm,
the financial pillar of the Regal Mindset podcast show. And again, we are here for the well-being of the LGBTQ community in this good gay month of June, Pride
come on,
Month.
Pride. Yes, come
Yes,
through,
I love
Pride.
it. Everything pride, right? So we're gonna talk about the financial aspect and how that relates to us on our day-to-day life, in terms of how we're able to manage and keep some level of peace, and how do we navigate those kinds of situations,
Hmm.
right? So let's dive right into it, right? Financial growth and triggering relationships and tension, and that's a
Mm,
huge issue, especially in the LGBTQ community,
yeah,
not just
yeah.
straight people, right? But in the LGBTQ community, period, right? I
Hmm.
would say I would lean towards the perspective of generally, right? Because we're both lesbians. The
Hmm.
mass presenting person usually will have the financial load or usually will carry the
Right.
financial load. I'm not saying that that's everybody's situation. Follow along, okay? If y'all want to
Hmm.
tussle in the comments, I'm cool with that too. But
Let's tussle.
usually,
I love a good
generally,
tussle.
okay, listen, we're here for it. It's gay month, it's gay pride month. The
Right.
financial burden or the financial load generally will lean on the more mass presenting person, right? And I'll
Right.
say for myself, right? Sometimes that can be heavy, right? But y- y- sometimes, yes, it can be heavy, but you have to be able to say when it is heavy, hey, I don't know that I can carry this, continue to carry this load, or maybe
Right.
you can help alleviate some of this pressure that's on my back, or whatever those conversations look like, instead of it coming out in a negative way or certainly a violent way. You agree with that?
Right. I do
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah. I think it's also that perceived notion that because we're dominant or masculine presenting or masculine identifying, that that's
Mm,
a role. And that's where, it's like, oh, I'm the head of the household. Well, technically I am because
mm-hmm,
she took my last name. So that would make me the head of
mm,
the household. And then that's what I filed on the 1040. So technically it's
okay.
right. But
Yeah.
then I think we look at being the head of the household and owning the majority of the bills as the breadwinner, and that's not always
Mm,
necessarily true
good
because
point.
she may participate. We're both winning bread. That doesn't make one over the other, and I know people put a dollar amount on that, but when you think about, like, I know I carry it with my insurance, it was easier. So I put the
Mhm.
family on my insurance. But if it would have been easier on hers, we would have went on hers. So it's just all about finding that balance and what that looks like. But it's just the common thing. And let's say for people in our group, our majority,
Mhm.
that's the typical standard. Our age, our demographic, that's our typical standard where some people really split it 50-50,
Mm.
and or some people really say, hey, she really makes more money than I do, so I may cover the groceries, but she covered the mortgage,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
and just it just depends on the household setup. But then a lot of people, and I think a lot of straight people misconceive that, of thinking just because we look this way. And I'm like, no, it just so happened to be that way.
Yeah. True, true. And so that's a part of the triggering part of this
Mhm.
conversation, right? I think, like you said, from the outside looking in, people would assume the more masculine person automatically has that
Mhm.
role. But like you said, there are some instances in some cases where the perhaps more feminine person is the one who makes the bulk of the money, right? And however you
Mhm.
guys to disperse that, amongst your responsibilities within the house and individually, or however that works. Sometimes that is, and that could be true. I can see that triggering a person
Mhm.
ego, right? Not necessarily
Mhm.
um a person who's gone through, some healing journey and has worked on themselves, but to a person who is, in my opinion, has an ego. I could see a
Right.
feminine person making more money than them, that being a trigger and showing up in certain ways that is unproductive and unhealthy.
Right. Because like you said, it's ego. Because
Hmm.
if Lachey made more money than me, as long as she's doing what she's supposed to do, that wouldn't change how I show up in the relationship.
Shouldn't. Yeah.
It shouldn't. Because what will happen if I become disabled
Good
and
point.
can't earn the amount that I'm earning? And
Hmm.
you know how it is. You look at the Social Security statements. You worth more dead than you are alive.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like it's just an ego thing. And because even though I may be responsible for pretty much all our bills because I am the person that's working in our house, um, she still dictate everything anyway. So it ain't like I gotta say so.
No,
I
I
just
hear you.
had yeah. So like you said, it's an ego and it's preconceived notion, and it's not the fact that I know for me I can say it's not that I'm looking for control in my relationship, control in my house, nothing like that. No, I get bullied in my home, so it doesn't.
Hmm.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Hmm. Hmm. And you know what? I will add to that in the sense that if it does damage or hurt your ego, then that's a good
Hmm.
time to build a deeper connection with your partner, in that sharing those things, right? And
Right.
is it something specific that that person is doing or saying, or how they're managing the funds, or how
Hmm.
they're taking care of things, that is driving that point home in terms of the damage that is causing to your ego or your personal feelings? That's a great way to repair that part of yourself, to make you a better version of you and who you are, to better that union.
Right.
But you got to have
And
your
and
big
if
boy
I
pants on.
you got to have the big boy pants on, but then I'm gonna throw
For
this
sure.
curveball in it because there are situations where we came in a relationship, both of us, where our partners had children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when before me and Shay bought our home, I I had my apartment. I was into my lease, so I ended up staying in her place, and then we end up getting another apartment together. So that's how it went. But when I stayed in her place, her children was like, "This my mama house." So you have to see
Mm,
all of the variables that's going on because that did cause a problem. Because I'm like, well, just
good
because
point.
your mother's name is on this lease, who paying for y'all to stay here?
Okay.
I'm the one paying the rent. I'm the one paying the lights, everything. And that caused a problem with us because even when after we moved to our apartment together,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then the kids really didn't come over that much. But then when we moved into our house, we had to let some of them come and stay, and they was like, "Well, this my mama." I said, "Oh, like hold on, time out. You ain't finna treat me like this when I am on the mortgage."
Okay.
Like, and so you have to, so when there's situations or conflicts and stuff like that come up, you have to see it may not be ego, but sometimes it helps to put things in a perspective because of the what situations are being presented that may cause
Mm,
the need to identify a clear line.
yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. And if I'm also being transparent, right? That was not necessarily did it come from the kids, but to some level of discomfort, I got
Mhm.
that same type of energy, I'll say, from my wife, but she was not my wife at the
Mhm.
time. She was my partner, right?
Right.
And from even that moment, I was listen, I know what can't happen, going forward. It's not going to be a
Mhm.
struggle of this, that, and the third, or whose is what. Either we're going to do it together, we're going to figure it out, or I am perfectly fine with having my own place. It more than likely will be in another state. Let me just say that, and
Mhm.
and you do what you need to do, right?
Right.
Again, I'm just being honest. But listen, I was getting along just fine before you, and God
Mhm.
forbid if something happens, I'll be fine after you. But we're not gonna do this is mine, and that. Yes, you can have your brush, your comb, certain things like that. That's yours. But if you and I are gonna decide to do this together, it's not my house. It's not your house. This is
It's
our house,
ours.
and everybody
Right.
out on the outside needs to understand that. You can't just come over just
Eh,
because your mama in here. You could call
right.
and ask to see if we here, and you can't just have
That part.
access. You can't just
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
access,
It's
even if you lived
we
here
got to
at one
set those
point.
boundaries.
For
Right.
sure, for sure, for
You
sure.
return my
But
key.
okay, listen, we ain't got keys. We got numbers. You get taken
Yep. We
off.
got the little code too. Yeah.
You get taken off. So, but yeah, I could see that being a trigger, especially among
Mhm.
LGBTQ families and couples. I imagine, right? It's I wouldn't say I don't know if the dynamics are the same, especially if it is both two males, right? Or if it's two femmes, right?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what that feels like, what it looks like, if they even have issues concerning, well, I'll take care of it. I don't know. Maybe they just have conversations in
I
terms
know.
of what they
Well,
be
we need to
responsible.
hear from that because we don't have
Yeah,
that
that's
experience,
interesting.
but it would be good to have that perspective because
Sure.
if you look across the board, I watch them little cop shows on TikTok, and it's always the stud getting kicked out because
Yeah.
she done moved in with the femme, or
Hmm.
she destroyed the femme house and took the kids' food and threw it everywhere. So it's always that stud femme dynamic that is like, what is wrong with
Yeah.
y'all?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And why you
Now
got a
we're
trash bag? Like,
listen. We
you
talked
can't, you
about
ain't
that
got no
one before.
luggage.
Yeah,
Right.
you got to come with more than a trash bag when you come into the table, man. Come on now.
Go on to
And
DD's or Ross and get you a little pulley.
and listen, depending on how long you've been there, you should have. When you leave, you better have more than just the trash bag. Figure out
Right. They
something, man.
walking
Otherwise,
they
what is y'all doing?
yeah, y'all got listen.
That's the question.
Y'all embarrassing us.
Yes. So on my timeline this week here, this that we're in right now, I saw a split screen. It was an image of a stud, nice, well put together stud on one side, and on the other side, she had like just a wife beater and some sweatpants on, and it has some stats on there, right? Which one would you choose, right? One of them
Hmm.
has a 800 credit score. The other one has no kids. And it had a list of things, and then the other one with the wife beater and the sweatpants on, she take care of all the bills. She cook for the kids. She give them bedtime stories, but she got a 300 credit score, and she has some drama or whatever the case is. And most of the people in the comments was choosing the young lady, the with the wife beater and the sweatpants on, right? She
Hmm.
take care of everything, and she tend to the kids. Like what? Like listen. I don't know if they were being completely honest, but I think it's a little bit more than that. It should be. And some people did ask, well, what's option C? What?
Right. Right.
But yeah,
And
we got to
but
figure some stuff out.
credit score wasn't a conversation. I could say that. It wasn't it became a conversation, but it wasn't a conversation because I had always had mine. Regardless of the relationship I've always been in, even though my first, because I only been in three relationships.
Yeah.
Now, situations is something different. But I only been in three relationships where we said we are girlfriends. And so, but each time I've always had my own place. So even though I've always stayed at their house, I had my own key, I had my own apartment, I paid my own rent, I pay everything. Just in case you try to pull some
Yeah.
crazy, I can go back home.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know so I made sure I didn't put myself in that place. So it's because I've always had my own. It wasn't a need for, like, when me and my wife got together, I didn't ask her about credit report because it was like I already had everything in my name, so it didn't really matter.
Easy
So
transition. Yeah.
then, yeah, it was an easy transition. But I think now it is very healthy to have that conversation, because even if the person got low credit, you can recover. Let's just say that. But you just have to have a plan to saying, okay, because I don't want to get to the time where we decide to go buy a house and I'm ready, you're not, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
mad because your name can't be on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't reap the
So if you
benefits.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, if you have the conversation, credit is not a deal breaker for me. It's, yeah, it's that's not a deal breaker for me,
Mm-hmm. It's a
because
lack of
those
planning.
are yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just planning, and those things are repairable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
you
agree.
know yeah. And so, and then too, a lot of people got to keep in mind, like, even with your home, if you get a home together, the person don't have to be on the mortgage in order to be on the deed. So
That's
you can
how mine's is
still,
set up. Mhm.
yeah, so you can share the property. So if anything happened to the person that owns the mortgage, the person that's on the deed can still have rights to the home.
Mhm.
So it's just ways of getting things set up.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. But and then the important part is that is to one know that that conversation needs to happen, right?
Yeah,
Don't
it
the
has
the
to
whole
happen.
reason this podcast exists is so that you are better prepared going into a
Hmm.
responsible and healthy relationship, knowing that how maybe you used to operate and show up in relationships may not have been the
Hmm.
best way, the most healthy way, and the most productive way. There's
Right.
other avenues, right? And we're not saying that this is the only avenue. We're
Right.
just saying at least have the conversation, right? Know
You
where
have
you
to have the
are,
conversation.
where you stand, and how best you can serve y'all's relationship.
Yeah.
Saying no without feeling selfish. Man, we talk about this all the time. You
Yeah, because it's a complete sentence.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and it's healthy. It's
Right.
okay to say no. Listen, I would love to say yes to my wife every time she asks for something. Every single time, right? And a lot of times I do say yes, right?
Hmm.
Regardless, I'll figure out how to get it, how to do it, how to whatever,
Yeah,
whatever that
I'm
is,
with you on
I'll
that.
figure it
Yeah.
out. However, no has to be an option sometimes. And
Right.
and for me, the reason it has to be sometimes because I don't want my wife to feel as though, okay, yes, I may have figured out how to go in, or I don't know, do something way out of the of whatever our plans was. Maybe this
Hmm.
year was like to take 5 trips. I don't, maybe I figured it out and found some money or made some money, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the next year that we're going to operate in that same place, right? We got to
Right.
recover and start saving some more money, right? And that's a collective
Hmm.
effort, right?
Right.
Or any number of things. Like we have a couple cars. Well, I have a couple cars. We have a couple cars now. Two of them she has, and I have one. Next time when it's time to go car shopping again, we're not getting all these cars.
Hmm.
You can only drive one, and right at this point,
Right.
we ain't driving nothing but a semi. So what are we
Right.
really doing?
Right. Right.
But my
Right.
point is, I had to get to a place where no is okay, and you're
Hmm.
gonna have to figure out a way to be okay with me saying no. Is it
Right.
gonna hurt your feelings because you ain't used to it all the time? Perhaps, yes.
And especially if they're Capricorns, yeah, their feelings gonna be hurt as soon as you can say not right now or give me a second, and they feelings hurt.
Yeah.
So Shay says no more than I do,
Okay.
because I've been the person where I don't withhold. Like you said, I will find it.
Yeah.
I don't care if I
Figure it
got
out.
to put these feet on Facebook. You gonna get something. So
Yeah.
I have never told myself no. Because of that, I always had a problem with saying no, because I will find a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it was a conversation that was never had, because I was living my life, and you could join or you can move out the way. And then, but it starts getting more expensive when you're planning with kids and
Mm.
doing this and doing that. It's easier for me to go stay in the A loft and go drop $1,000 at the club, when I'm like, nah, she wants to go to the Regis, and we need to drop $1,000 there, and I might not get, so you have
Yeah.
to flip that dynamic. But you're right. No has to be, but then if it is a no, would you suggest that, one, not necessarily just an explanation, but a plan on why that's a no right now?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it depends on what it is, right? If that means that, for example, and again another transparent moment. Usually, when the grandkids ask for something, say something, they want to do something, the answer
Hmm.
generally is yes, right? Do
Right.
I think about all the other things that have to go into that? No.
No.
I don't. But I will say, if she asks me and I say yes, then I will revisit it and say, okay, now how are
Hmm.
we going to do this? Right? That's a conversation that she and I are going to have. And if she say,
Hmm.
well, we may have to say no, not right now, or no, I can't do this because of my schedule, because of your schedule, whatever that is, or it could be finances, right? Maybe we haven't allotted enough for this to take all of them or some of them or whatever, but we can do something different, right? So it may be
Hmm.
an option, a different option, right? So, and what we often have done is, if we can't do what you asked initially, then we're still going to leave it on the list, right? There's still a conversation. It just may not
Hmm.
happen right now. This is what we could
Right.
do for today, right now, this
Right.
weekend, or this month, whatever it is. So yes,
Right.
it is
I get that.
sometimes options. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I get that 100%. If we dealt with our grandkids like that,
Yeah,
it's a pop up. It's a pop up for them. So
yeah,
it's kind of like, hey, I thought about you. Let's take them all lunch.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
plus, we live, with the driving distance, so sometimes that causes more of an issue to where, you know, they don't have a way there, and we're not trying to go all the way down there, So
yeah,
no, but I get what you're saying. I
yeah.
think with us, it's with the two smaller kids. We got the 6-year-old and we got a 13-year-old. The
Mm,
13-year-old feels that every time he come to our house that we have to go out to eat or we have to
mm,
order. He
mhm.
don't believe that stove works at our house.
That's funny.
Yeah, I because he can't. He was there last weekend, and dude came downstairs. What is that to eat? I said, well, buddy, it's lunch. We cooked breakfast. It's lunch. No, I ordered breakfast. I said, it's lunch. Why don't you get some of them, bites out the freezer, put them in the air fryer. You that's all you eat anyway. If
Yeah.
I order wing stops, you're gonna want the barbecue boneless wings. Get some, put it in the. I'll wait, and he waited.
Oh,
He waited because
yeah.
he wants food ordered out. And then when
Yeah.
Shay came home, and she ordered food, and I'm like, the food he could okay, he just gonna starve until you get here because I'm not finna order 3 times. Them DoorDash fees done went up,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when there's something in there to hold you that. And we end up ordering wing stops, and what did he get? Barbecue boneless wing, the same thing. He eats the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's telling them just wait. Because
Absolutely.
Abby feels like we should be at Disney on Monday, Epcot on Tuesday. She lives that life. So you're like, not today.
No, I agree. We have a kid who often inserts herself in our date nights as well, right?
Hmm.
Anytime my wife and I well, my wife is in town and we're going to dinner or we're doing something, she always wants to come over because she knows we're going to dinner, right? More than
Right.
likely a
She
seafood
got
place,
your
right?
schedule.
And
Right.
yeah, and she want to come, and then she want to bring all her kids. And I mean, we can't say no to the grandkids, and you just watch us eat. So it's
Yes,
always,
you can. I could. I could sit right there and eat in their face. I done fell
yeah,
asleep on them on Thanksgiving and everything. I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So breaking the "I gotta help everybody" mindset, man.
Ooh.
Listen, this is I need a T-shirt. this,
Right.
this is crazy, man. I think for me, I don't have it as bad, perhaps, as my wife. So, and I'll put things in context. She has a much larger family than I do,
Hmm.
and
Right.
I don't. So on my father's side, I don't know all of them, right? So it's
Hmm.
the ones that I do talk to and have relationships with, they're not asking me for much, right? Here and there,
Right.
I'll have a stray, but my mother's side, they're not very big. It's not a lot of us, so I would
Hmm.
say I don't get those requests often. Most of the time,
Right.
the request I get is for time. I need you to talk to me
Hmm.
about this. I want to talk about that. Like, and I don't always have that time, especially if she's here for, if my wife is here for a couple hours, maybe a couple days
Hmm.
or what have you. I don't have that time to take away from her to give to you. Right. So
Right.
you got to have a catastrophe on another day. That's
Right.
that's
Right.
basically my conversation with them. But in terms of my wife, I'll say I have to sometimes interject and say, listen, we can help as much as we can, but it's not our responsibility. At some
Right.
point, and I say this often, they gotta want to be better, do better more than we want to do it for them. More
Right. Right.
than
Right.
they, they've got to figure it out. I
Yeah.
said this just the other day, they have the same 24 hours in a day that I do. Why
Right.
would I work for what I work for and any and all streams of income that I have and just give it to you? That don't make sense for me.
Because apparently it makes sense to them. No, but it really does. We figured this out like when they're in between their paychecks.
Hmm.
Can you cash at me $25? And I said, there's Clio, there's Tilt, there's Grant. These are places where they will look at your bank account, determine how much in between payday money they're going to give you. So the same way I use it, you can use it. And I think and then when they be like, well, it's just easier for me to text, I know it's easier. It's more convenient, but my life is not meant for yours to be that convenient.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah. And another thing I will add, because I get, I was 20 before, I was 30, I was, 40. I get that there's some times or some things that's going to fall through the cracks and you're going to find yourself with your pants down. I will
Hmm.
say you can prepare for those times, right? You can
Right.
put some money away because that is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to happen. When I did get more of those requests, right? It was, like you said, $20, or sometimes like I would get a weird. Let me get $7.86. Like,
Yeah. They be so
it's
specific.
weird.
You be like, what in the hell? What are you
Hey,
trying to get?
after ten
I just
dollars.
need $3. Right.
But I
I'm
started
like,
sending them the app to Amazon Flex and the app
mm-hmm.
to DoorDash and the app to Start, the Walmart delivery. No, no, I don't have the $20 to give to you that I work for, but I can give you these resources right here, and then you can figure it out from there. The
Right.
call stopped is like almost immediately.
Yeah.
You mean I gotta work for it? Well, yeah, that's what usually
Yes.
happens. So yeah, I as soon as I give them the link to those things, the call stop happening. So
Yeah.
that
And
was my
and then
thing.
let it stop. Let it stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I
So
mean, what you want me to do about it?
yeah, yeah. I don't mind helping people who want to help themselves. Don't get me wrong, and
Hmm.
God knows, if I can help you, I will help you, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes I've helped people who didn't necessarily, um, how can I say, not that they asked,
Deserved it.
but I knew, right? That's a better way to put it. Not that
Hmm.
they directly asked, but I knew that it would help them. I knew that it would
Right.
alleviate some stress. I knew that it would take some things off of their humongous plate that they're trying to
Hmm.
eat one bite at a time.
Right.
So
Right.
yes, I have done, and I've not asked for it back. The way I see it, God gonna bless me way more than you can ever, and
Right.
He has, and He
Right.
has. So that's just my perspective and how I look at it.
No, and I get that, and I think that's very healthy. I think that's needful, and some people do deserve that from you,
Hmm.
you know. But when they start making it a habit, no.
Yeah, I agree.
You, my mom used to do that. They used to piss me off, and I wouldn't pay attention because she would get her checks on between the first and the third because she had disability, pension, all that stuff. She'll wait till like the 29th of the month. I'm not, I don't, I need some money. And I'm sending it. And I'm like, but you get paid in 2 days. Wait, what? And I caught on eventually. That's like people who call out every Friday. Come on now. Let's do better than that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. So, emotionally spending and avoidance.
Mm.
So we talked about emotionally spending or habits
Hmm.
and traits and things like that, or responding out of emotion, especially around finance and the spending. Um, I think it's worth mentioning that sometimes those things are caused or triggered by certain things, right? For
Hmm.
example, this is Pride Month, right? So people will
Hmm.
go, and out more often, right, than they would, let's say, the month of April, because there's more, especially in the LGBTQ community, there's more events going on
Mm,
in June. Excuse me. People travel more. People
hmm.
have the ticket prices for certain engagements are much more expensive than they were just a few years ago.
That's why I
I
can't
get
go. I
the
can't prod it.
Listen, I get the economy has changed, but listen, the
Mm-mm.
same show that I saw 2 years ago was $40. Why is it 75 now? Like they
Right,
didn't get that much better. you know,
right. I
I
can't
just
prod
don't.
it
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So emotionally, spending habits. Then there's people who, my grandmother used to do it. She would just go to the dollar stores.
hmm
In today's day, it would be the five and below or whatever, and just go spend a lot of money just because you may be feeling a certain way, or you're, not feeling yourself, whatever that is attached to an emotion. You
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like your response is to go and spend money. I used to have that same situation when I was first went to college, and they were just
hmm
handing out credit cards in the mall. I used to live
Yeah.
in Atlanta, and in Lenox Mall, they would just like, "You want a credit card? Yeah, okay."
And you
Sign up,
just you just
get a credit
jumping at it.
card. Yeah. Didn't get a good grade on the assignment. Let's just go to the mall. Go to the mall, burn a bag, and just it was crazy until
Yeah.
you realize, listen, these are bad habits. I gotta stop this. This is not
Because
productive.
you're rewarding yourself.
Yeah,
And I get it, but it can be a very dangerous place.
yeah, yeah,
We do it all the time. Now you're supposed to reward yourself. When you get paid, you're supposed to take 10% for you. After you give 10% to the Lord for some people,
mm-hmm,
then you're supposed to take out 10% for you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So do that, but not for, well, the man jumped in front of me in on the highway and I think I deserve a new pair of shoes. That is not how that works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not fiscally responsible, you
At
know?
all. At all. At all. But I can see how some people, especially, much younger people, tie that to an emotion. Like, I'm feeling this type of way. And the only way
Hmm.
to feel better is to spend money, right?
Right.
You said, yes, you should reward yourself. Do I need this new pair of Jordans just because they came out 2 days ago? Probably not. Right?
No.
It's the other pair of Jordans that came out the week before. Like, how many Jordans are released in a month? Like, that is just crazy to me.
But
But
but they the same shoes. They ain't
or
nothing new
repeat
came
in
out.
different colors.
Yeah, unless it's a collab with somebody, you're getting the same breads, you're getting
Yeah,
the same, Tar Heel blue. But
yeah.
I had a guy that he worked under me at a warehouse, and his girlfriend kicked him out, so he was renting a room.
Mm,
And we somehow got and he borrowed money one time, and then he started making it a consistent habit.
mm,
And even though he paid me back, I never had a problem with it. I just noticed he made it a very consistent habit. So, long story short, you're in a rooming house, you're renting a room, but Jordan, you was stand in line. You had them, that was his thing. And I'm like, let's flip that because you just dropped 250 on those shoes. It, you don't want to go get an apartment that's yours. Like you don't want no type, but he was comfortable with going to that rooming house.
hmm Or buy some shares. How about that? Then when you
Yeah.
go get
But
them
see,
shoes, man.
but but I'm a because some I'm 100% on you on that one. The reason why nobody see value, especially us, the reason why we don't see value because it's not tangibly in our hand. And nobody sees the shares, so nobody can say she got it going on. He
Mm,
got it going on. They can
I got
see the shoes.
you.
So it's all about perception. You want somebody else to perceive that you're rich, so you're going to wear your riches. But when we tell people to go buy shares, we have to keep in mind what financial literacy is. It's the ability to understand money and to use money. They don't have the ability or the capacity. So going to buy shares is not a thought because they don't have the ability. mentally, emotionally, or physically. Well, they could probably go do it physically, but mentally, emotionally, they don't have the ability or the capability of understanding the value of it. Therefore, it has no value.
Mhm. Mhm.
But they can go and get them shoes. They keep them clean. They can go sell those. They'll see the value and trade in these shoes.
Mhm.
But they don't. But that's not always guaranteed
Yeah.
unless you got the original Jordans from 1988, like this white man did, and he went and sold them, and them things sold for over $2,000 because he had
That's
the
crazy.
original 1980s shoe.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. I think again, it's also tied to the emotion, right? They get
Hmm.
the validation from their peers that, oh man, those is dope, those is the blah blah blah, and they may or may not even know you sleeping in a room house, or you renting a room from some old
But you
person.
fresh though.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
You
So
fresh.
yeah, there's something off there in that messaging, right? What are you actually saying to your subconscious self? Like that these
Hmm.
shoes and fill in the pockets of the manufacturers and the designers and whoever else is on the food chain is more important than myself. That's what I hear. And
Because you don't know how to translate value.
yeah,
You have no self value. You have not said I should be further. And they're quick to say, well, I didn't know the better. Yes, you do. You can Google, you can chat, you can YouTube it. You do know a better way.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was
Because they gonna
telling,
do it to get the value of the
yeah,
sneaker. They're gonna
exactly.
definitely do that.
And and then in addition to that, it was one of my cousins. They was like, they just bought some brand new shoes, and I said,
Mhm.
well, you could have purchased my business in a box for cheaper, and you could have started your own roadside assistance
Mm-hmm,
business,
mm-hmm. And
and
had
then
the
you can go
passive
get
income by it.
13. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
So go figure. That's how that's how they see it. And
Yeah,
I know at one point we did too, but how quickly we pivot to say, wait a minute,
yeah.
is buying that Gucci shirt? Because one guy he had on a furry, it had like shag fur,
Mm-hmm.
Gucci, but because it was Gucci, I'm like, but that was a stupid purchase because right now you look like a Muppet, and it was too small. Man, this Gucci, this $700. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care that that was $700. I don't care if the shirt was $15.
yeah,
I'm happy when my dress pants got pockets.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I just think that that's really crazy how people do that or how people think in that way.
Yeah.
Um, the next question to kind of segue into this: building income without burnout, right? So it kind of falls in
Hmm.
line with what you were saying, right? People don't understand the value or value themselves enough to invest in themselves, right? To build
Hmm.
an income without getting burnout, right? Yes, entrepreneurs get tired, they get frustrated, and you doing all of this with oftentimes, especially in the beginning, with little to no pay.
Right.
Okay, little to no pay.
Hmm.
So there's all absolutely time for burnout. But if you pace yourself, right? Not saying that you have to learn or know everything all at once, but at least understand, okay, if this is a lesson, okay, take this lesson for what it is, figure out how to not do it again, and okay, fix your business and continue to move forward. You're
Right.
building an income, you're building a business, right? That can take care of the other things that you wanted, the Jordans, the extra vacations, the whatever, the vacation home, whatever that is, right? That
Right.
is that is in my opinion more valuable to not just myself but my family and the people that are behind me who I'm going to leave these things to.
Right.
That just makes sense to me.
Yeah. But then we have to look at, and I'm gonna say this, and this might hurt somebody's feelings, but if you've not held a real job or career, you don't know what burnout is. You're just tired. You can't be talking about you the cashier at McDonald's. You're not burnt out.
At
You're not
20.
burnt out. You're frustrated. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And when I help entrepreneurs and things like that, I'm like, just to say I work for myself or just to have CEO because that made us feel good at the bottom of our email, that it doesn't change the fact that you're putting in 24/7 into your business to do it legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
So until you're ready to go all in, work and work on your business, and then just try to transition into the business more often. I mean, excuse me, more, because your burnout is real when you're in a career space.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will truly understand what burnout is. Right now, you're just frustrated and you're tired
Yeah.
because you're not getting where you want fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that.
Mm-hmm.
We're burnt out because we've been in our careers for years and these people getting on our nerves. And we're
Mm-hmm.
tired of answering and not being rewarded, not being seen, the first to get cut. And it's a lot more than just getting fired from the French fries.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I'll ask also add to this or add to that, in that a lot of times when people are again starting or building their business, they have one perception of how
Hmm.
things are going to go and how they should go. They think it's a windfall of money that, just because you said you're an entrepreneur now, they don't
Yeah.
realize, they don't fully understand the amount of work, like you said,
Hmm.
that it takes, right? And there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily know, right? So you have to educate yourself. You have to invest in training and skills and software and people, right? You have to leverage
Hmm.
other people's areas of expertise to help you
Right.
do your business better, right?
Right.
So there's so many different things that go into that, but the reward on the other side, again, this is building. This is you're building something to eventually get to a particular place. So either you want to keep it or sell it to someone else,
Hmm.
but you have to do the work, right? So that's
You
the
have to.
another part of the investment. And oftentimes I think people just don't understand what that looks like and all of what that entails.
No, because they don't see the bigger picture. And I have a great person. She comes by my house and she cuts my hair, which helps me out because I don't be wanting to go nowhere.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to I was talking to her about her barbering business, and in her head, just showing up and cutting hair is enough. She didn't, so I stopped the conversation because I feel like I'm giving what's good to the dogs or pearls to the swine. Not saying she's a dog, not like that. Saying that if it's not falling on good ground, there's no
Hmm.
point of just giving the information. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Because I'm trying to tell her that the various opportunities as a single barber where you can maximize that opportunity, and she don't see that
Yeah.
because all they know is get in somebody's shop, cut hair. And I'm
Hmm.
like, it's more than just get in somebody's shop. You're in competition with everybody there. You can't control the atmosphere. That's why I don't like going in the shops. But you can go find a single space in an industrial area, set up shop in that building. People going to come to you because you give them privacy. You got a clean space. You're dressed nice. It looks good, and you could charge more a premium price because of the type of customer you got.
Convenience too. Yeah.
Yeah, and beyond the convenience, and then too, you have to learn to cut other people's hair. You can't just cut black hair. You
Hmm.
need to learn how to cut Asian hair, white hair, all of them, because then you can expand your customer base.
Hmm. Build your brand. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
it. And a lot of times we don't even see past our street, and then we get frustrated because our family and friends don't support us regularly. When it's like that shouldn't be your customer base. That should just be an additional. Your
Hmm.
customer base is everybody else.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree. And one other thing I'm going to add to that, I just read over in my little remarkable here, a note to myself every day. I read this chart, that
Mhm.
to remind myself. And one of the statements says, "Stop being a mother to people who don't want to be rescued."
Ooh,
Man, listen,
that's good.
you hit it on the head, man. You can have just general conversations, and you can pretty much
Mm.
tell whether this person is receiving that information or if it is going completely over their head, as if I don't know why this lady is trying to help me be better.
Right.
That's
And
basically what
and
they're saying.
and I might need that breath my last days, so let me save it. I'm not
Yeah,
giving it to you.
yeah, yeah. It clearly says stop being a mother to people who don't want to be rescued.
Right.
They want to
What
be
is
where
that
they
song? Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Yeah, they don't want to be saved.
Absolutely, man. Listen, that is 100% true. Wealth versus survival mode. thinking, right? So this is
Mm,
a mindset thing, right? This podcast show is called Regal Mindset. And
right.
I know that we've spoken on many occasions about how it a lot so many things start just shifting your mindset, whether it's
Right.
about yourself, whether it's about, how you want to show up going forward. You're the person who's
Hmm.
responsible for making those changes. You can't look
Right.
outward, but that it is your mindset, right? What do you
Right.
feed your mind and your energy, right? What are you telling yourself? You can shift your entire life
Right.
by
You
changing your
absolutely right.
mindset.
Right.
Man, that is so powerful. People don't
But
realize the
I
value in that.
they don't realize it. But then some of them we can give grace to because they don't know that they're operating in that mind space.
Mm,
All they know is, well, my mama did it like this,
mm-hmm,
so it must be right. And we're
mm-hmm,
like, no, because one of the biggest lies that has ever been told to us in our homes is money don't grow on trees. It literally does. It might not look like the dollar bill, but that doesn't mean money because you don't understand money. You think money is coins. You think money is the actual dollar or the $5 bill. No, 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 no. That's a form only for the United States and
mm-hmm.
it's accepted in other places. But the money looks different when you get to Mexico.
Sure
It
do.
looks different when you get to Germany. So you're saying that's not money because you only see money as the American dollar bill and God we trust? No. But then you also don't see money as because money is a current, well, money is a part of a bartering system. You barter time.
Mm-hmm.
When you clock in, that is money that you're giving of that energy in order to get that piece of paper to say your energy is worth this. So if you don't put yourself in a position to where that exchange really feels matched,
Mm-hmm.
you're never gonna leave survival because in survival mode, all you think about is I just need to make money to pay these bills.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that
That's a
life
poor man's mindset,
for
right?
sure. Yep.
A a middle class person mindset is I work to have good credit and to be able to get things, but you're going to always be in a certain level of debt. But the wealthy, their mindset is this money is for to make money, whether it's through interest, dividends, investments, whatever. So it's the way you look at it, and it's the same dollar. The dollar didn't change. What
Right.
changes how you saw it.
The relationship you have with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a story that I think about often. I reflect back on. There's a period in my life, just a few years ago, actually, where
Hmm.
it was all in my mind. Money was just always in the mailbox, right? For whatever reason, these
Hmm.
people still sent checks. I have no idea why when they've got
Yeah.
direct deposit. But if it's coming from VA, then I just assume like, I'm going to get some extra money from whatever's going on. I know I'm going to get some extra money.
Right.
And I remember directly saying one day, like, I don't know why, but there's some money in the mailbox. I went to the mailbox, there was a whole check in there. I don't know why these people sent me this money. I didn't even care. But my point is, I always knew money was coming to me. It
Right.
always attracted to me, and it always did. It still does.
Yep.
They come in smaller amounts now, so I'm working on that. So to get them amounts, bigger, but
Right.
it
Right.
always coming. And what I also noticed about myself is when I thought and operated in that way, I I was reckless at times, right? Because I was just
Hmm.
spending and spending and spending, spending, spending. Because in my mind, it's coming,
It
it's
was
coming right back.
coming.
It's another check coming tomorrow, whatever it is. So
But see,
it
that's the
does
thing. Money is
how you
supposed to
think about
move. Money is not supposed to sit there.
it. Yeah.
You're supposed to circulate. That's why they call it currency. It's
Hmm.
supposed to move. If you think money sitting in a savings account that is what it's supposed to be, you're absolutely wrong. Money
Right.
is supposed to move. Even the Bible in Ecclesiastes says that. Diversify. It literally says that. 7 or 8 different ways. Send your money across the seas. That It's there. So it's telling us we should not be putting it in Bank of America savings account, just wanting that balance to grow. Because it's not. You're getting what,
Mm-mm.
0.5? It's not even in a high yielding savings.
And they making
But
money
what
off.
you exactly, but what you just described is literally abundance.
Mm-hmm.
When you have an abundant mindset, you're saying, I don't care what denomination, I don't care when, I just know it will.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you get those little, you had a data breach, you go $27.70,
Yeah.
I get them things I would say every week I got at least three.
Yeah.
I deposit two of them before we left. And because when I had to stop doing was putting the, what, saying it wasn't good enough, because I was telling the universe it wasn't good enough because it
Mm,
wasn't the amount that I wanted.
gotcha. That could be my issue. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, no, I don't care if it's a quarter on the road. That's abundance because it, and this a real good one. I got a quarter. I picked it up and it just caught my attention. I looked at the quarter and I put it in my pocket. I got home, flipped the quarter over. It was Selena Cruz on the back. And I said, I don't remember this being in one of the states. Looked it up. That one quarter, and you can ask Shay because this was just the other day, is $800 on eBay.
Dang.
That's how it works. You think, oh, that ain't up but 25 cents. But that 25 cent is $800 right now on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
So we as humans have to change the way we see it. And just like how the eyes work, when we see something, it's the light hit the thing comes into our eyes, it's inverted. So I mean it comes in upside down and it hits your optical nerve. Your optical nerve tells your mind, hey, you've seen this before, real quick. You've seen this before. This is this. But what if who told you that that was it? You just assume because everybody else told you this is the color blue. What if it really isn't blue? You have the capability of changing what that thing is based off of what you see. So, just like you said, if you see it differently, it will become differently. You opened up the floodgates when you said money just comes to me.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 50 cents. I don't care if it's $1.25. I don't care if it's $100. It just comes to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the first time you put up a dam, the first time they build a dam in the water, what they doing is blocking it off.
Stop
But
it. Yeah.
when but if you move the dam, everything is coming through. The dam don't say no. I want catfish to go this way. It doesn't say that. It
Mm-hmm.
blocks everything. So when you open up your mind to the ideal of abundance, it just floods everything. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't pick and choose what fish you pull out. You got access to every fish possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just might have to change your bait
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
catfish don't like the same. That's all
Yeah.
you got to do.
Yeah. I get it.
That's the beauty of mindset.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation with an associate of mine, and she was asking me for a couple $1,000, right?
Hmm.
I felt like it was 10,000, right? It was some crazy number. I was like, and the young lady, like, you ain't that important to me for me to give you $10,000,
Did she
but
say 10?
nonetheless, yeah, I think it was $10,000. So anyway, so I said to her, I said, first of all, if I had $10,000, I wouldn't just give it to you. It's not just in a bank, right? That
Right,
money is actually making more money. And she was
right,
like, well, what can you give me? I said, well, maybe I can give you $1,000, 2,000, whatever it was, right? And so I give her whatever money it was. I think she asked for 10,000. Anyway, so I gave her whatever I had, right? Maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's $2,000, and I give her the money, and I said, well, I'm not gonna worry about it because I expect money all the time. Money
right,
just shows up, like it just comes. And sometimes, true story, sometimes I do not know where this money is coming from. But
right.
as long as ain't nobody saying, "Hey, you got some money that was sent to you accidentally," listen, I don't know nothing about that. This money is supposed to be for me.
Yeah. And if it hit my account, don't come
Yeah,
asking for it back
for sure. Oh, that's mine.
because you ain't getting it back.
Yeah,
You should have
I
thought
remember
about that
saying
before
to
it
her,
hit.
Yeah, clear as day. I'm not gonna worry about it because I'm gonna get it back. I get large sums of money all the time. That's exactly what
Right,
I told her. I said I get large sums of money all the time, even when I'm not expecting it. That's what I said, and she was like,
right,
"Yeah, I don't know about you."
right. I
Yeah,
mean, my
apparently not.
life and your life are two different lives.
Yeah, you asking me for $10,000. I said, first of all, I would like
That lets you know I get more money than you.
yeah. So okay, good luck with that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that is crazy. So yeah, I definitely have to recondition my mindset around this, and maybe that's just a selfish part. Maybe I just want to be too ambitious in terms of the things that I want to take care of and make sure that I'm responsible taking care of the whatever it is I want to take care of. But yeah, so I'm gonna work on that for myself.
you
And
have to let go the outcome. The
yeah,
outcome, we don't determine the outcome. That's just that. That's
yeah,
not that's not how life works. If we separate from the outcome, that gives more possibilities for everything else just to happen.
hmm,
And that's what we want.
hmm,
We want every possibility.
absolutely,
If
we do.
you, yeah, if you go to Outback Steakhouse, you already know what Outback gives you.
Hmm.
You can't go in Outback and think you're going to get a Big Mac. It's not there. So quit controlling the outcome. You know where you showed up to,
Yeah,
and yeah, and that's that.
yeah. I'll tell you. Hopefully, this helps someone else too. I was watching a video on Instagram. Actually, today I sent it to my wife. And the guy had an orange and he was holding the orange and he was squeezing it and he was squeezing it. And his
Mm,
conversation was like, what if I told you I'm going to squeeze this and what do you think is going to come out? And the guy says, well, probably orange juice. And the guy said, well, what if it were pineapple juice or what if it was apple juice or cranberry juice? He's like, no,
mhm.
that's not what's in there. He's like, exactly. He said, a lot of the things that are happening today and that's happening around you or that happen to you, if someone does something to you or squeezes you or stresses you or whatever, what is going to come out is what's in you. If you're responding in
Right.
an angry way, then that's what's in you. If you're ask or responding in a scarcity mind with a scarcity mindset, that's what's in you. If you're
Mhm.
operating out of a place of selfishness or whatever, however you respond is that's what's in you. And if you don't like
Right.
what's in you, then you have to change that, right?
That is
Circling
so
back
good.
to your mindset, it starts in your mind. We
Mhm.
as a community, as a people of color, have to be mindful what we're putting in our energy, into our mindset,
Mhm.
into the thoughts that we have of ourselves.
Right.
I tell my wife all the time, stop saying negative things about yourself, right? Your subconscious mind
Right.
doesn't know that you're joking.
Right.
Like I
Even when
hate
people talk
saying,
about my broke best friend, no, that's your
I was
friend.
just gonna say, I hate when people use the
I
word broke.
hate that.
I don't use broke in any of my content. I just don't even like the word. Don't associate me and broke together. We don't go together.
Exactly. Exactly. But then they think you're being too extra. And it's like, if you really understood how the universe and the atmosphere responds to you, then you would
Hmm.
see why we take it that serious.
Hmm. The power of words. Yeah,
It,
absolutely.
that oh God, I can go on and on for days about that.
Yeah, that's like
It's
a whole other
you
show.
that's how we really have to talk about it
Yeah.
because that's why we don't say spend because it's an end to it.
Hmm.
I don't want it to end. But if I circulate, that means it does this.
Keeps going.
You have to be so specific in what you say.
Hmm.
And it's crazy, and I'm gonna throw this one out real quick. It's crazy how mortuary and mortgage have the same energy
Mm.
because of the creation of the word.
That's
I'm telling
interesting.
you, it's
I never thought about
you
it.
had, yeah. If you look at the etymologies of words, it was what word money. Okay, so the etymology of the word money means to make. Even though we think money is the actual coin, the word money derives from to make. That's why when the scripture says the love of money is the root of all evil, because it's telling you the love on how you make it is where the evil comes in,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
not the product. It's how you're getting it. So it's like, wait a minute, I need to start looking at this different.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you break down the root of the word, you will start seeing, like, okay, I see why that's going wrong. I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
the word mort, it says the note sounding of a horn when the quarry is killed.
Mm-mm.
Mort, M-O-R-T. So you
Mm-hmm.
got mortuary, and then you got mortgage. All of that first is where
Mm.
you're looking to be killed. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, because how long your mortgage is for your entire life.
Generally 30 years. Yeah.
30 years. Now they do 30, 40, and 50
Yeah. Yeah.
for your
Crazy.
entire life.
Yeah. Can be. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you
Yeah.
have to look up mortify, mortification.
Yeah. That's good.
All of these is about killing. So it's like, wait a minute, a death. So anything that has MORT in it is related to death.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. So listen, we're gonna wrap this recording up. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, 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 please like, comment, and share the content, right? We're gonna ask that you identify your freedom number and let us know what you're going to implement from this show based on our
Yes.
conversation, right? Um, anything else you want to leave these kind folks for the month of June?
Be intentional. For our LGBTQIA plus community and our Black community, we are the wealthiest group of people. We drive the economy. It may not look like it because you don't have it sitting in your bank,
Mm,
but the economy don't move until we move. So you have to be so intentional, especially if you represent both or you represent either or. So if they don't like you and your money shouldn't like them.
mm-hmm,
And you should think about that every day.
mm-hmm,
You don't have to go there. There's another alternative.
mm-hmm.
When we did the boycott against Target, we found other stores.
Yeah, yeah. And if they don't have
Just
one,
like
create.
create one. Go to multiple stores to get what you need. It was just a convenience for you to go to Target and then
Mm-hmm.
get everything. And again, I'm not causing or calling for rage against no particular group, but it's a reason why their Asian markets are only in our neighborhood. One, they're only able to get loans for businesses to come in our neighborhoods. They're not allowed to go into
Mm,
certain zip codes. That's law.
mm,
They're red line too for businesses. We're red line for home ownership.
mhm,
And if you go into a store and they follow you around, leave out the store. Don't argue. Take your money somewhere else. That hurts them more than you telling them, I got money to pay for this. I ain't arguing with you. You don't need to know I got money to pay for it. Because the first time you inconvenience me, I'm taking my money elsewhere. And
mhm.
you have to be so intentional with your words and with your action because we run this.
Yeah, starts with your mind.
It starts with your mind.
Absolutely. Well, I love it, man. Listen, Regal Mindset. We are here again for the well-being of the entire, and I do mean entire LGBTQ
Entire
community. Enjoy this
body,
wonderful Pride
soul, and
Month.
mind.
Okay, enjoy this wonderful Pride Month. Be gay as I don't know what, and if you are
Come on,
a gay
gayness.
ally, then you are welcome over here. But come July 1st, make sure you get back on the side of the street where you belong.
Exactly. It's the sundown town. You don't be
Yeah,
get caught in these streets.
yeah, at all. All right, we are going to end the show, and we will see you all next time. Have a good one.